and welcome to your outlet for outdoors and Western lifestyle news, The Bend Show. I am your host, Rebecca Warner, aka Beck, and as always, we love hearing from all of you. Comments, stories, ideas. Get a hold of us anytime. Call or text 305-900-2363. Again, that's 305-900-2363. Or you can always drop an email to bendradioshow@gmail.com. Joining me as always, my sidekick and co-host, producer Jeff Tigger Earhart. Well, here we go. It's hard to believe it, Tigger. I know. Did you realize 150 episodes?
Congratulations.
That's for both of us.
Congratulations.
Folks chasing you, Tigger and Beck. Yes, you followed us all around the Bend.
150 times.
And you know what?
I'm sorry and congratulations all in one.
That adds up to 4,200 minutes of The Bend Show. Or you could break that down to 70 hours of The Bend Show. For those of you that may have just tuned in for the first time, we aren't new. We've been around the Bend. Have I said the word The Bend enough yet?
Yeah, you did it. Yeah. I love your marketing.
But I want to say a big thank you to all of you listeners for doing so. Because of you, that is why Tigger and I are still here.
You got it.
Putting it out.
If it wasn't for you,
week.
we wouldn't be here. Yeah.
Well, we're very thankful for all of you because, yes, you followed us along down the dusty roads, the switchbacks, chasing elk to fishing big waters, Tigger reeling them in as he's fly fishing, and we've even taken y'all into the Rodeo Arena, too. Easy baking for anyone. That is what's in the spotlight. That is because, have you seen the latest trend on TikTok? For those of you that are social media followers, they're saying forget the water. TikTok creators like Jordan the Stallion 8 as he goes by have been testing out the trend of instead of mixing a quarter cup of water, they're substituting it with Dr. Pepper soda to make boxed brownie mixes. And from what I understand, they are scrumptious as ever. However, hate to bust the bubble on this one, this so-called new trend. And I'm bringing it up because, FYI, the influencer there that I just mentioned earlier on TikTok, he's had well over 1 million views of just one of his posts, how he's showing using soda or pop, depending on where you are in the country, what you call it, when mixing it with brownies. Well, why I'm saying we're busting the bubble on this one is, Tigger, you have been doing this for years in your Dutch oven cooking.
But I'm using diet soda. If you
Ah.
want to. I mean, it's kind of counterproductive, I guess, if you're wanting to lower the sugar intake, but you're making this cobbler that's loaded with sugar. But I use the diet Dr. Pepper or even like a diet Sprite sometimes.
Okay.
Because if you use just a regular can of Dr. Pepper, it gets a little too sweet, in my opinion.
Oh, interesting.
Just a little bit too.
So it's kind of
Gotta
similar.
tone it back a little bit.
Because I've noticed, for example, holidays are coming about, and a lot of times Tigger will tell me, don't go totally with the milk chocolate, but at the same time, don't go all the way with, say, the dark chocolate. So maybe that's what you're saying is Diet Dr. Pepper kind of helps hold back a little bit of that sweetness.
It just tones it down. And the whole purpose of putting a can of soda in your cobblers or something is to make it very moist and fluffy.
That's what they said happened with the
very,
brownies.
very moist and fluffy. Totally different than if you like your cobbler that's fairly dense, that's okay. But if you like your cobbler that it's a little bit more like a combination of a pie and a cake, that's when you add in the can of soda.
So not to confuse everybody, because now we went from baking brownies to all of a sudden jumping into a Dutch oven and a
got
cobbler.
crazy all over the place.
Hold on. I'm going to pull back the reins on this one just to explain a little bit. When Tigger makes his cobblers, he's using a boxed cake mix.
It's that easy.
How easy is that?
It's literally you use a can of your favorite pie filling, a boxed cake mix, a whole bunch of butter, and and then the third one is the can of soda. That's it. 4 ingredients is all it takes to make cobbler that'll just blow your ever-loving mind.
All right. So right there you have it. That is a recipe that I think anybody could handle this day and age, right?
And if you want exactly how I do that and how long I make in the Dutch oven, send us an email. I'll be more than happy to share that because it's super easy to make. It's an easy way for people to get into Dutch oven cooking too.
Yes, send us a text or an email, bendradioshow@gmail.com. Again, that number to call or text is 305-900-2363, as well as we'll have some of the details posted on our website, thebendshow.com, about how to make these super easy desserts. And as you're all heading into the backcountry, getting ready to do some of your hunting and fishing trips this fall, don't be afraid of the Dutch oven. That's what you always say, Tigger. You and Kent Rollins both. You both say, don't be afraid of the Dutch oven.
I think it's the same as people having, and I know we're not supposed to brand drop here, but Blackstone, not a sponsor yet, or a pit boss having a griddle. Right. They're afraid, or why is my food sticking? Why am I getting this? The Dutch oven is the same way. Just use it. Just keep using it. Keep using it. Don't be afraid of it.
Season it, right?
Do not be afraid of it. You got to have them seasoned. I mean, that's the biggest thing. The Dutch ovens, and if you don't know what to do there for seasoning, reach out to me. I'll help you with that one. But once you have a seasoned Dutch oven, and I know a lot of the Dutch ovens that you purchase nowadays, they come pre-seasoned. Mm-hmm. It's a matter of just using the darn thing. They're super easy, but most people, here's the hint to if you're using a griddle, if you're using a Dutch oven, most people scrape way too hard with those metal spatulas, the hibachi ones that you're flipping around. Most people scrape way too hard, and you're actually scraping off the layer of seasoning. That's why you're getting where you think it's rusting in those areas. So just be a little gentle, but use the darn thing. It's that simple.
Well, we have it. Now, Our news today is brought to us by Medora Boot and Western Wear. All things Western, be sure to head to medoraboot.com and tell them Tigger and Beck sent you. Our leading news story, bull riding superstar J.B. Mooney retires. The rodeo world and PBR, Professional Bull Riding World, were shocked on September 14th this year when J.B. Mooney, a longtime bull riding star, announced his retirement. The 36-year-old Mooney from Charlotte, North Carolina, suffered a broken neck during the Lewistown Roundup in Idaho, in which he was bucked off and landed on his head at an Extreme Bulls event. Mooney took to Instagram posting, "Surgery went great, and I would like to thank everyone for taking care of me." He continued to say, "Unfortunately, with the surgery, it ended my bull riding career. Just wanted to let everyone know that I am okay and now on the road to recovery."
You know what they say when it comes to riding bulls, that it's not if you get hurt, it's when and how bad. So you're going to find this interesting because you mentioned J.B. Mooney, did a little bit of research for you. Here is just kind of some accolades from his career. He rode bulls for 19 years.
Wow.
Okay, that is over half of his life that he was really in the business of riding bulls. That's what he's done. A two-time PBR world champion, has had 824 qualified rides, 122 rides that were 90 points or better. He has had 221 round wins. He has been to the PBR finals 15 times. He's been to the Wrangler NFR 1 time. So I tell you what, in my opinion, he's one of the greatest bull riders that has been, is today, and ever will be. He's one of the best.
Well put. And you were a bull rider yourself back in
Far too long. Far too long, that I twisted him.
But you know what? As you said, over the course of 19 years, and he's conquered some of the most well-known bucking bulls of all time.
Got a lot of
household names such as Bushwhacker, Bruiser, Pearl Harbor, even Percolator, and many, many more. So on behalf of Tigger and I want to say we wish him and his family the best on the road ahead. We hope he enjoys retirement. And a tip of the hat to J.B. Mooney, who will, as you said, go down as one of the greatest bull riders.
You know what I think he's going to do in his retirement?
What's that?
He's in the bucking bull business.
He's not going away.
Absolutely. He's going to raise bucking bulls. He's going to start producing his own rodeos. He's going to have schools. So he's not going to be far from the rodeo arena. Just he's wearing a little bit different hat.
Coming up, we're talking the food to take or not to take on the trail. The Ben Show will be back right after this.
Are you looking to liven up your event in 2024? Change the pace, make it stand out?
Let us, Tigger and Beck, agriculture advocates, outdoorsmen, and all-around fun couple, be the addition to hook the attention.
I see what you did there. Now, we will leave you laughing and having a positive outlook on the future.
From being the keynote speakers to MC to masters of ceremony, let us, Tigger and Beck, make your event unforgettable.
Y'all know where to find us. Before you head to the next rodeo, a concert, maybe a gathering on or off the ranch, we head to Medora Boot and Western Wear.
Tigger and Beck here for Medora Boot and Western Wear. Latest Western fashion in boots, jackets, and hats.
From durable ranch wear to keeping the horses in sturdy tack, visit medoraboot.com to order.
Or better yet, plan to visit Medora, North Dakota and shop Medora Boot and Western Wear.
Again, go to medoraboot.com. You can follow on Facebook and tell them Tigger and Beck sent you. It has been quite a run on the Bend Radio Show. Now, here's an interesting question for y'all. Several listeners reached out and wanted to have more Western history and Western lifestyle on the show from time to time. So what do you think? What are your thoughts? Give us your input. Or are there topics that you want Beck to cover? What are your favorites? We want to hear from you. Our listeners are from all corners of the country, actually all corners of the globe for that matter. So weigh in and let us know. BendRadioShow@gmail.com or call and text us at 305-900-2363.
Welcome back to the Ben Show, your outlet for everything outdoors and Western lifestyle. I'm your host, Rebecca Warner, a.k.a. Beck, and joining alongside is my co-host, Jeff Tigger Earhart. We are talking about food. We're talking about food, what to take on the trail and maybe what not to take on the trail. It's a topic that sometimes gets overlooked in the excitement you've been planning for months. Some of you have maybe booked a trip with even a guide or someone months out, and now it's go time. You're looking at the calendar. You're looking, do I have my gear? You've checked out everything else, but how well have you thought about that food you plan on taking on the trail? And
so when you say it's go time, it could be go time out there. You didn't even realize it.
Yes, exactly. And I had this brought up to me recently again by some gals that were excited about they're going to be going and doing some archery hunting after elk, and they have never packed in truly that far. And they started going, well, it's easy to quick buy some of those items you see off the shelf, or maybe you see an ad pop up somewhere of freeze-dried products, and there's many great ones out there. Excuse my stutter there. And the topic that comes up again is the, as you said, the go time, because what we don't realize is we talk about often being physically fit. Have you been hiking? Have you broken in your boots? Have you done all of those things? But here's the most overlooked situation that I have come across, and that is your stomach, your digestive system. Have you been preparing that for what you are about to go do out in the field? Amen.
That catches more people than anything, because you get all excited and you get your gun sighted in, right? Or you shot 100 arrows a day for the last 100 days. Yes. And you got all your gear, and you made sure that you got your scent blocker with, and you got all of these things with, and you're ultra prepared, which is wonderful. And then that's where the T-Man comes in. And that is, it's no fun when you got to go and you are out on the trail. It has happened to everybody. And I know some people say, well, that's just part of the fun. That's part of the experience. Unless it happens to you.
I'm going to say there, and even as a lady, going number 2 on the trail is not what you want to be having happen.
Having that upset stomach that you just feel miserable and nothing is settling it.
So especially if you're somebody who sometimes may have problems with digestion already at home, think how it's going to be amplified. Or maybe you're somebody that's easygoing and you can eat anything, but one thing is going to happen. You're all of a sudden doing more physical
there's
activity.
More things than one is going to happen out there.
Well, think about this. You're doing more physical activity than you usually do. What does that cause you to do? Naturally, without even food being involved, you're going to have to use the restroom, right? Well, now go and introduce some of these foods you may not be used to because they are lightweight, easy to prepare, and now you're stuck out there miles from nowhere going, oh my gosh, my stomach can't handle this.
This bites more people than we realize. Hikers a lot. You get all excited. You go on trips. It happens when you go on a scouting trip, right? The Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, 4-H clubs, all those things. You go on these different trips and your stomach is not used to said food because you're excited to begin with and all of these.
The nerves.
So the nerves, right? So, we always say, take the food that your stomach is used to.
Yes.
If you want to take some of those dehydrated meals with, by all means take them with, but eat them at home first. Give your tummy a chance to get used to them because like you said, everything is going to be amplified when you are out there in L camp or whatever the case is. I actually put together your meals, your MREs, if you will.
Homemade. We call them DIY MREs.
Yep, I put those together for you, and it's granted, it's a fair amount of processed food, so there's a lot of salt in there, but it's food that we can eat at home, and we can, you get kind of used to it.
Exactly.
And I'm not talking about just candies and cookies either.
No. My DIY MREs, for example, that Tigger assembles for me when I go out on my trips are very simple, but they keep a lot of protein, but some sugar, some carbs in there because, yes, we are using a lot more energy than we're used to.
There's a really high calorie count in each one of those.
You have to keep that up, though, because of it. But the key is they're foods that I am used to. And the other thing is we go about making sure we measure it out so that, say, for example, a serving size I know will last me for, all right, I just had my treat for an hour and a half. I know I'm going to hike however far in because you're carrying a pack. You've got a rifle or your bow, fishing pole. It doesn't matter. The weight adds up, but you still have to be getting substance into you. And that's why we're bringing this up is to try these foods at home. If you know there is a trail mix that you really love and your stomach does fine with, make sure you're bringing that along with. But first off, measuring it out. Having little packets of serving sizes will keep you from overeating or overindulging on the trail too.
Nobody likes talking about this stuff, right?
I know.
Nobody does, but it's what you have to talk about. Look at me, for example. I got my gallbladder out here. Well, it's been over a month already, and I'm going backwards in finding out the foods that I cannot touch, and the list is getting more and more and more and more and more. So just for example, Beck and I have been announcing a fair amount of rodeos. I got to make sure that once I go into that announcer's stand, I can't have something in my stomach that is not going to agree with me for several hours prior because I'm stuck in that announcer stand for 3-4 hours plus. So amplify that if you're out on the trail and you're all excited and, nerves and all these types of things, think about what your tummy can handle and can't handle because it can ruin a trip really fast.
It really can.
It ruined it for your brother, too.
Oh, it did.
I don't mean to throw him under the bus. But
how do I say it? It backfired. We'll leave it at that, all right? It backfired. So with that in mind, we joke a lot about being research and development here in our place, but it really is doing that R&D, trying those items and giving it a good go before you do go out on the trail and have fun with it. I'm going to tell you to do it this way too, especially if you're going on these trips and say your family can't come with. And this is an excellent way to get them involved and make it a family fun memory. Then that way the kids, they're kind of engaged. They're going, Mom and Dad, what are you packing? What are you trying? So there is fun ways to have this and make this a memorable hunt or fishing trip or hiking trip, but include everybody else before you head out on the trail. So with that in mind, have fun while you're packing for your trip and be sure to be testing and preparing before you head out. We are posting photos on the benshow.com website that'll show you those DIY MREs that Tigger assembles before I head out to the backcountry. We're going to throw this to break, but when we come back, we've got a little bit more of what's coming around the bend.
Hey guys and gals, this is John Arman with Ultimate Outdoor Adventures TV. Ultimate Outdoor Adventures TV travels the back roads to the backwaters in pursuit of the ultimate adventure in hunting and fishing. Join Team UOA every week for exciting action in the crosshairs of the outdoors. Catch Ultimate Outdoor Adventures TV on YouTube, Amazon Prime, and make sure to follow Team UOA on Facebook and Instagram to share in the ultimate outdoor adventure.
This is Beck. First, I appreciate all of you for listening and making The Bend part of your week. Many of you have asked, how do I catch past episodes? The answer is super easy. Head to thebendshow.com and click on the shows tab. There you can listen to every episode all the way back to episode 1. Podcasters, head to your favorite podcasting app and search The Bend. You'll find us. Be sure to follow and subscribe and never miss another episode again.
Hey guys and gals, this is John Arman with Ultimate Outdoor Adventures TV. Ultimate Outdoor Adventures TV travels the back roads to the backwaters in pursuit of the ultimate adventure in hunting and fishing. Join Team UOA every week for exciting action in the crosshairs of the outdoors. Catch Ultimate Outdoor Adventures TV on YouTube, Amazon Prime, and make sure to follow Team UOA on Facebook and Instagram to share in the ultimate outdoor adventure.
Welcome back to The Bend Show, your outlet for outdoors and Western lifestyle news. I'm your host, Rebecca Warner, a.k.a. Beck, and joining alongside is co-host Jeff Tigger Earhart. One little bit of news also to add into the mix, and it is eyes to the sky. It was announced the beginning of the month that the Pentagon, in case you missed this, launched a one-stop shop site, a new website, which is to allow people to report UFO sightings. According to Bloomberg, at this point, though, only service members and civilian Pentagon employees are able to submit reports to this new website. The Defense Department then plans to investigate reports made. Head to thebendshow.com for the press release, video, story, and as I've been saying for a long time, Tigger, right? We are not alone.
So apparently now, just like that, I guess Area 51 is real. I guess all of that is legit. So they have a website where now you can be like, hey, I saw a UFO. Well, here it is.
And I'm curious what you all have to say about that. Send us your thoughts. Text us,
call us.
Nobody
is going to do that.
I want to know if anyone else agrees with me that we are not alone, because you met somebody out at in Nevada, didn't you? At Area
51 in New Mexico?
Yes.
I was at Area 51.
New Mexico, not
in
Nevada.
New Mexico, yeah. In Roswell, New Mexico. That's where I was at, was Area 51. I went to the museum there, and that was one of the most fascinating experiences that I have ever had in my life. I got to meet with one of the original, it's been a number of years, 3-4 guys that was there at this quote-unquote crash. And I spent like 3-4 hours talking with this guy.
Okay.
This was one of the most amazing experiences of my life. I was captivated the whole time.
So for years, you've been too, like saying, I don't think we're alone out there. And now
Conspiracy theory.
Think about it, earlier this summer. That's what I'm talking about. I've got the story there on thebendshow.com, how they interviewed and talked about, these UFO sightings. And now this press release.
Well, it kind of makes you wonder with Hollywood and all this stuff that all of these movies, right, and radio shows back prior to that kind of makes you wonder, I mean, where did they conjure up said tales to be able to have this entertainment in Hollywood and all that? So it just kind of obviously had to be based off of something at some time, right?
Exactly.
Not just a crazy imagination of Steven Spielberg.
Yes, thank you. No matter how we like it or not, when it hits the silver screen, you know that there has to be a backstory that created such an idea.
So with that, send back a message and just say, yay or nay, if you're into the whole alien thing. I'm really curious. If anybody is going to actually admit this, I'd love to. We won't mention your name on air or anything like that,
and
but I'm really curious myself.
I have a feeling while you're out hiking and looking around, we're all going to be looking for crop circles now.
Right?
And with that, folks, we're going to call this week's show wrapped. Thank you to my producer, co-host, Jeff Tigger Earhart. And remember, folks, to keep sending in any questions you might have. If you know of something spot-worthy for us to share, as well as keep sending us in your field reports from your area. That number, again, you can text or call anytime, 305-900-2363. Again, it's 305-900-2363. Or you can always email bendradioshow@gmail.com, as well as while you're posting your pictures of your latest harvest trophies on social media, be sure to be tagging us at The Bend Show. We'll love hearing and seeing what your life is on or off the trail. If you missed part of this episode or want to hear past shows, you can find them all on the website, thebendshow.com. And be sure to subscribe on your favorite podcasting app and to the YouTube channel, The Ben Show. Looking to change things up at your next event, conference, or awards banquet? Think about having us, Tigger and Beck, entertain your crowds. We are booking out now into 2024, and we are excited to see you along the trail. From MCs to event headliners, public speakers, even master of ceremonies, let us make your event extra special. We hope to see you in the future. Thank you to our partners, Ditelli Outdoors, About You Photography, Blue Water Girl Charters, Buckstorm, Little Rack Taxidermy, Mickey's Mustard, ToxicCalls.com, Wabalo Creek Outfitters, Atlas Tracks, RFD TV, and Wrangler. Finally, a big thanks to all of you listeners out there that came along. And whether you're coming or going today, stay with us as we ranch it up. And remember to keep up with me, Beck, all week long by following The Bend on Facebook and on Instagram at The Bend Show. This is Rebecca Warner. Catch Beck if you can next week on The Bend.